Greetings, Dr. Wolfula here to present a very important special audio presentation that your ears cannot dare unlisten to. Does that make sense? Oh, it doesn't matter. Listen to this.
Welcome to someone's favorite movie. I'm coming to you from the Pod Shack outside beautiful Bay City, Michigan. My name is Randy, and with me is the Tom Co. What's up, sir? How are you?
Oh, just fine and dandy. It's pretty rare that I'm both of those at once, so you're in good luck tonight, you know?
God,
I don't know if I can contain this.
What a red letter day this Tom Co.'s having, huh? Welcome everyone on board the good ship SFM, the show where every movie is someone's favorite. And before we get started today, Mr. Tom Co., if I can just take a moment of your time, dear listener, and you, Mr. Tom Co., I believe that there are some thanks in order.
Oh?
Yes.
Thanks?
Thanks. I wanted to take this moment so that you, Mr. Tom Co., can thank me, Mr. Randy Perkins, for enriching your life with the movie that is Spookies. Take all the time you need to wax on with platitudes and gratitudes toward me. Go ahead.
You know what? There is BS and AS. Before Spookies and A after Spookies. You know, this is wow. How did I not have this in my life before, sir?
You know, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to enrich your very existence. I mean, before Spookies, this Tomco was just spiraling into an existential void, the likes of which he may never recover. And then I shined a spotlight into that void, and it sucked him up like a tractor beam. And that...
You gave me hope in a dark world, sir. I can't repay you.
And what more can I do? What more can I do? I mean, I believe my purpose this year, already in this year, 2023, has been fulfilled, and I'm ready for sainthood now. You're welcome. You're welcome.
You know what? If you can perform a miracle like this, who knows what you could do when you have your mindset to it.
That's my mind's a dangerous weapon. I've been telling people that for a long time.
Oh, hell yeah. So, Spookies. This was an interesting one. I had never heard of it before you suggested it, and I've gone out of my way since watching it to not do any kind of digging.
Really? You weren't curious at all?
Oh, I'm very curious, but I wanted to save everything for the show because I don't know what the fuck I just watched.
Well, that is very fair. Spookies was actually filmed in 1984 and was released in 1987. Very, very microscopic theatrical release, but it gained a cult following after airing on the USA Network's Up All Night, which is, God, what a heyday that was. Did you ever catch the Up All Night?
Oh, yes. Gilbert Gottfried hosted that for a while, didn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
And I remember there was also a blonde bombshell that was hosting that for a while. I remember that. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. You're amazing because you said bombshell and I thought you were going to say bimbo because that's where my mind went. So I guess that's the difference between you and I. You're a sir and I'm a scallywag.
Hey, that's why we've got chemistry. What is the story on this? Was this because when I first started watching it, it had like some kind of British certificate. Is this, a UK film? What the hell was this?
No, this is an American film. It was, I believe, financed by a Brit. But the problem is, so it started filming, and they were a good chunk of the way in until the financier ran out of money. So eventually this footage was found, and a whole wraparound sequence was created and tacked onto it so that it could be released and make some money. And that's why it feels like two different movies. In the movie, if you're paying attention, the editing and the cuts are really, really awful.
Yes. Not to mention, I noticed several occasions where they would switch back and forth between a couple shots, and the lighting was completely different, so it looked like a different image almost. And I was just wondering what the hell the story is on this.
So the beginning sequence with this little boy who's running away from home, he's 13 years old, and his parents forgot his birthday, apparently, and he's just going to strike out on his own, run away from home. That'll show him.
Oh, what a wimp. Like, he's the only one who's had his parents forget his birthday. Grow up.
And so I've heard of this movie for a few years, and I've always had it on the Grandmaster list of someone's favorite movie. And Vinegar Syndrome put out a Blu-ray of it a few years ago, and I think that might have been how it got on my radar. I'm not sure. But this is the first time I watched it also, and I'm watching this little kid running away from home. I thought this little kid was going to be the main character. I thought this was going to be a movie like The Goonies or The Monster Squad, which would make sense. This is coming out in the 80s. You would think it would try to ape some of that box office potential. But no, that's not what happens at all.
I'd have been satisfied if that character made any difference in the plot whatsoever.
And that's how you know that this was completely tacked on, because this little boy wanders into some random ass house, because that's what little boys do apparently, and he finds a whole spread set up for a birthday, and he thinks it's his birthday. And
that is a hell of a coincidence. It's his birthday. There's a setup for cake and balloons, and there's the card and cake made out to somebody with his name.
Yeah, but
that's a hell of a coincidence.
How the hell does his parents know that he's going to run away from home and end up in this stupid haunted house? And
well, 13-year-old boys are stupid. I can see why he would think that.
He's super stupid.
I was no mental giant at that age.
Wow. I guess so. Mental giant.
I could imagine a 13-year-old boy being that dumb.
Okay, well, he is that dumb. And some weird things happen, and he opens up this gift, and it's a man's head, and it's wishing him happy birthday. And apparently he's not into that. So he runs out, and then he gets killed by a cat man. And I hate this stupid cat man. This dumb cat man.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I hated all of the characters, dude. I singled him out.
I don't know. This one really pissed me off. And then the kid is slashed across the face and buried alive. And I couldn't help but feel bad for that actor, the kid actor, because he was literally getting dirt thrown on his face.
Yes.
And I'm like, what parents signed off on this? This is ridiculous.
Yeah, it didn't look like they took the time to really think about safety precautions in any of these special effects. So I'd imagine that, the way they achieved that was just by, dragging a backhoe over and having him buried.
Certainly looked like it. So basically, the original movie, which started out as a movie called Twisted Souls, and if it gives you any idea as to the, the marketing sense of the financier about this movie, because I found the Vinegar Syndrome documentary online and I watched a little bit of it. He wanted the movie to be called Bowel Eruptor.
That's a marketable title for the 1980s.
Bowel Eruptor. Woo! Goodness.
Why?
Because it's scary. So scary you'll empty out your bowels. I'm sorry, it's not scary. It's spooky, Tomko.
Exactly.
I'm not sure how the name Spookies eventually got branded onto this movie, but my God, what a dumb title, huh?
And what is this movie? Is it a comedy? Is it a horror? Am I supposed to be taking it seriously?
Well, the financier was also heavily influenced by Evil Dead. That's what he wanted out of this movie. But he also wanted it to be like PG, so none of the violence or sex.
Which is weird, because when I was watching this movie, I developed a greater appreciation for Sam Raimi and the Evil Dead.
Well, that's
because
fair.
I realized just how bad that movie could have been.
So the entire sequences where I hesitate to call them teens, because what a friend group this is. How do these people even hang out ever? This group of folks, they get kicked out of some party because of Duke, who's an impetuous hardhead. He does something at the party, and they, I don't know, go on a road trip or look for trouble, and they end up at this haunted house, and they meet all these monsters. That's the original movie. Everything else with the stupid wizard man and his bride, and everything with the cat man and the little kid and the zombies at the end, that's all added on after the fact. So
and why were they going to that particular house? They were acting like they knew exactly where it was and they had an intended purpose. Did they ever actually say why they wanted to go to that house?
No, I think that what I got from it was they just stumbled upon this thing and thought it would be a real gas man to hang out there and be degenerates, I guess. Although one of their members looked like a father. I thought he was the dad of somebody, and I was like,
yeah! And he's supposed to be in their peer group?
He was in their peer group. He's apparently the chick he's dating likes older men. I don't know. Who am I to judge? But I thought for sure that was somebody's dad.
Well, yeah, he's dressed like a 1970s Republican.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He voted for Ronald Reagan.
I guarantee you.
I guarantee it, too. So, yeah, they end up at this mansion, and little do they know that this mansion is owned by this warlock wizard old creepy guy with, I mean, the worst accent this side of Andy Warhol's Dracula.
What kind of accent is that? Is that German? Is it? What the hell is it?
Probably Romanian. He's probably from Romania.
And the echo that they added to it as an effect did not help my understanding of this movie whatsoever.
Yeah, so, well, let me help you. I got surround sound speakers now, so I'm a baller in the audio department. He wanted to bring his bride back to life by killing kids, I guess. Because it's never really revealed how his bride is still a hot dime piece in suspended animation. Never revealed how that happened. And never really revealed.
He said that he's been working toward it for 70 years. I'm assuming that it was a work in progress. But I still don't understand how killing kids brings his estranged wife back to life.
I mean, everyone needs a hobby, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the teens, they find this Ouija board thing, which one of them was like, oh, that's a Ouija board. I know what that is. I'm like, how do you know? That doesn't look like a Ouija board. And it can't because of trademark purposes.
Yeah, but they sure pulled a Captain Hottie out of their ass for this one, didn't they?
Oh, they did. So the main creepy girl that seems to know all about Ouija boards for some reason.
Out of nowhere,
she all of a sudden is this goth girl that knows everything about supernatural folklore and whatnot. She gets possessed by the warlock man, and the Ouija board is used to summon all these monsters to kill the group. And that's your movie.
Pretty much. Yeah, that's pretty much the entire plot of it.
That's the plot of it, yeah, for sure. Like, the Ouija board summon, and it's like, let's do some cool shit. And then cool shit happens, in quotations. And
am I correct in assuming that the wizard succeeded in killing all of the kids?
Well,
I think
you would have to assume that because it's never really clear, but yeah, I guess so. I guess that's what happens.
You know, eventually his bride reawakens, declares her hatred for him, tries to run away, manages to escape, even though she's supposed to be getting weaker the further away from him that she is.
Oh, stop. Don't mention plot holes. Don't you dare do that.
And then she gets picked up hitchhiking after escaping the horde of zombies. And it turns out that the normal-looking guy is the cat dude. I didn't know that he could transform shape.
No.
But that came in handy when he needed it most.
Yes.
And then the wizard that everybody thought was dead from what looked to be a pencil in the forehead.
Yes.
Popped out of a chained grave and is laughing at the camera.
Yeah.
Credits.
Because every horror movie needed a quirky twist ending like that in the 80s.
And I'll be honest with you, I went into this with the same attitude that I go into all of these movies with. I was genuinely expecting to like it. I figured it would be kind of quirky in a Cruel Jaws kind of way.
Okay, yeah.
Cruel Jaws is a fucking masterpiece compared to this.
Cruel Jaws is a lot of fun. I wanted to have a lot of fun with this one. I really do. And I almost got there. Almost.
I was digging, and I decided, you know what? The puppetry in this movie is good as long as they have the correct lighting, because there's a couple shots where it's too bright and you can see way too many details.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
So when the lighting's good, the puppetry is pretty good, actually, for what we're working with here. But there's just no consistency in quality. I mean, the only way I can really describe this movie is extremely amateurish.
It's an independent film for all intents and purposes.
Well, yeah, and that's fine. But I don't know. Like I said, I just walked away really appreciating the hell out of Sam Raimi, because there's a guy who literally was an independent filmmaker, never set foot in a film class one day in his life, and he was still able to put together a hell of a movie. These guys aren't Sam Raimi, though.
Yeah, it is.
And this movie, I knew I was in for something odd when I saw that it had not one but 3 directors.
Yeah, that's always a problem, right?
Yeah.
So the special effects, you're right, there is no consistency, because, like, for example, there's this whole sequence where this Asian woman lures one of the members of the party. That
turns into a Xenobite.
Yes, or a giant spider woman, whatever. Tom.
No. That's straight. She turned into something straight out of the Alien movies, complete with the opening a mouth and having a tiny mouth pop out from it.
Okay, yes, you are correct. However, that sequence, special effects, pretty good.
Yeah,
not bad.
I mean, you can tell that somebody who knew, or at least had a grip on working with miniatures, they did pretty well, but I think everybody else involved in the production dropped the ball.
Yeah, you have these muckmen that come up from the basement floor, and for whatever reason they make fart noises, and I wasn't sure why that was a thing. Like, are you trying to make me laugh?
That's why I was trying to say, is this a comedy? Is this a horror movie? What the fuck is this?
Costumes, not bad at all.
No. The little goblins that were like fish creatures with those eyes.
Yes.
That was actually really effective.
Yes.
Dumb, but effective.
They attack Charlotte Seeley, who is the actress's name, who had a career in Europe as kind of a naughty girl. She was in a lot of sort of erotic films. She was in one of the Emmanuelle films, which if you...
I was a teenager with Skinamax in the 90s. I know what Emmanuelle is.
Yep, absolutely. So she was in one of those, and that she was in... one of the movies was so bawdy, apparently. That's a word I just said, bawdy. Don't get sore with me, folks. That it wasn't released until 1999 when it was filmed in 1976 because of the sexual content.
Damn.
Right?
I know what I'm doing on Google after this.
There was apparently in that movie extreme close-ups of her vulva, Tomko. I'm sorry for saying that out loud. Do you feel... I felt you blush through the internet, but
you know what? I definitely felt something tingling at the mention of that word.
oh my goodness. Yeah, so those creatures attack, but going back to the inconsistency of the special effects in the same scene where the Spider-Woman, aka the alien Tomko, transforms, her alien mouth tongue thing latches onto the dude's stomach, and it's the worst special effect you've ever seen, as it sucks the life out of him and he deflates, and it's not good.
I didn't know skeletons worked that way, but all right, movie.
Well, it was clearly whatever. Why am I?
I honestly wanted something more painful for that character because the only way I could describe him was aggressively annoying.
Oh, you didn't like his puppetry?
No, I did not.
Oh man!
But I'm thinking maybe that was a clever in joke because clearly there was a lot of puppetry involved in the special effects. Or am I giving them too much credit?
Probably too much credit. Yeah. I guess that dude was a comedian of some sort, and he was the life of the set, and all the crew members adored him. From what I got from the documentary that I watched, like, the crew stayed pretty tight after at least the actors. They developed a lifelong friendship after this movie, which, I mean, I'm glad they came away with something because they certainly didn't come away with a career.
And that's actually pretty cool because most of the times, once filming wraps up on movies, everyone goes their separate ways. And from what I understand, it's not a business that you get a lot of close friendships with.
Yeah.
So that's actually kind of cool. Good for them.
This movie does have a feel of the Monster Squad to me. That's what it reminds me of, even though they were basically came out in parallel to each other, I would guess.
Yeah, it just looked like somebody was a diehard horror fan, loved Evil Dead, loved The Exorcist, loved Aliens, and decided to try to figure out a way to put all three of those stories into one movie.
I mean, it's a 14-year-old's wet dream is what it is. It's like, oh, yeah. This is cool. This is cool. Oh, cool.
And honestly, yeah, I could see this. I wouldn't even say that this is film school level, but I could see this being made by a high schooler. And I'd be a lot more forgiving.
Oh, man.
I'm not wrong.
No. Part of the problem is that, they did shut down production. I mean, the special effects were what they were going to be, and I guess who knows what their main plot was going to be and what this was all leading to. There might have been like an Oscar-worthy ending to this movie that would have changed your life, Tomko. If not, I mean, changed it even further. It's already changed. But
you know what? I'm going to put this up with the Magnificent Ambersons as my greatest cinematic what-ifs. What if Spookies could have had a smoother production where they were left alone?
I mean,
the world will never know.
I mean, if you believe in quantum mechanics, there's one reality out there where this movie was fully realized, and it's just mentioned along the same lines of Back to the Future.
Lucky bastards in that parallel universe.
I know.
They get all the good stuff.
They do. They do. We get all the pain and suffering. They get joy and Spookies.
Pricks.
I know.
So, am I going on a limb by saying that you're not recommending this?
I can see where, if you caught it on USA back in the day, it would be one of your favorite movies. At least nostalgia-wise, you would be like, oh yeah, this movie. And I guess I could see, drinking with some film geek friends and watching this. But
I was going to say, I could see maybe if you're enjoying it ironically, I could see it. I could see maybe groups of people having fun with it the same way they would have fun with a Rocky Horror Picture Show. I could see that having a fan base. I could see geeks that are into models and makeup having a blast with this. But those are all very, very small niche audiences that I don't know would translate to mainstream appeal.
Oh, this is not. No, this is nowhere near a mainstream. I would not just show this to some random friend like, hey, want to watch a movie? How about this one? I would never do that.
Yeah. I had to get up and go to the bathroom halfway through this movie, and Mrs. Tomko's like, so, how's the movie? I'm like, I don't know. I can't tell what the hell's going on.
Oh, man. And you told me that you, for the good of the show, you did not watch the finale of Better Call Saul.
Yes. You know what? I suffer for my art.
Well, listen, I'm going to tell you this right now. I've seen both, and the finale of Better Call Saul might be better. No spoilers or anything, but it might be better.
Marginally.
Might be better. But I mean, Better Call Saul, the finale does not have a giant Grim Reaper. So, I don't know. Pick your battles, I guess. To each their own taste.
You know what? If you had somebody at a Halloween haunted house chasing after you in that exact same Grim Reaper outfit, you would get a kick out of it. You would chuckle.
Yeah, you know what? That Grim Reaper statue or costume or whatever, I was like,
you changed colors of the robes as soon as it started moving.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? You could find that same costume these days at Spirit Halloween.
Easily.
Every September. Just go there. Same quality.
Yep, just find an old abandoned Circuit City, wait for Spirit Halloween to open up, and you can get that outfit yourself.
I mean, they arrive. It's like finding Avalon. The mist just part, and there's a Spirit Halloween. I don't know how they do it. They're in there like nobody's business. You blink, and there they are.
But no, I mean, I'm struggling to find anything positive to say about this, and I think I've scraped the bottom of the barrel on it, sir.
I
have to admit, I was kind of nervous when we were starting this because I thought this was going to be like a movie that you've been watching with Pookie for years and years, and it's one of your favorites. And I thought I was going to be a buzzkill, and I am so relieved to see that we're on the same page on this one.
I mean, this might be the shortest episode ever, but yeah, I was very disappointed because I had wanted to watch this one for a while just because it seemed weird, and it is weird. But
when it first started out, I thought it was going to be like Unmasked Part 25, where it was clearly telling a story with tongue firmly planted in cheek.
Yes. That's kind of...
I still don't know if they were being serious or if this was a comedy.
No, I think they were being serious. I do. I think they were being serious. That's kind of what I thought it... That's, in my mind, that's what I thought it always was kind of a horror comedy type deal, kind of a parody sort of thing, maybe unintentionally hilarious in parts. I heard the special effects were pretty decent, and there was all sorts of monsters and stuff. I'm like, oh, that sounds cool.
For a $25 budget, they did really awesome with the special effects.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I wish I had more to say about it, but it is what it is.
You know what? Pot's legal in a lot of the states. So, I mean, maybe that's the audience that they should be aiming for.
I mean, for what it's worth, on YouTube, there is an hour and 40-minute documentary from Vinegar Syndrome about the making of this movie. Yes.
That's longer than the movie.
The documentary is longer than the movie, yeah.
And the movies seem to go on for eternity.
I didn't really have that issue with it, I don't think. I thought it went by okay, but...
Oh, no. This dragged on for me.
Well.
Better luck next time, listeners.
Yeah.
Speaking of next time,
Tomko gives it a 2 thumbs down. He's the Ebert of this crew.
I hated your movie, Spookies.
Damn. Next time, January Scary continues, and we're I want to get that Jake on to do Elvira if you can wrangle that.
Oh you know what? As soon as I'm off with you, I will get on with him, and I'll see if I can't make it happen.
Make it happen, Captain. If not that, then we're going to do a movie called Cast a Deadly Spell. And
Okay, good. You know what? It's actually a good title, better than Spookies.
I would say so. Yeah. And
all right, we're already looking up.
We're already looking up. February, we're doing our favorite movies, the movies that Tomko and I would recommend to people that might not be on the radar, might not be the mainstream Shawshank Redemption sort of deal. Have you thought about this at all, Tomko?
I have, and I am trying to narrow down the list a bit. I don't want to go overboard.
Okay. I know one at least that I want to do. So
fair enough. Looking forward to that.
And you, dear listener, I mean, the best thing you could do is recommend this podcast to other people. Just walk up to your friends and say, try it out, you coward. You know, I know what it's like when you try recommended podcasts to people. It's the same sinking feeling you would have had if you told your parents that you're quitting your job to pursue a career in poetry. That's the same sort of feeling. Nobody wants to recommend a podcast, but be a brave soul and be like, hey, listen to this, huh?
Now, the second most important thing you can do, listeners, we're scratching our head trying to figure out content. I'm assuming that you guys out there have weird, quirky movies that you like, and you're just waiting for someone to talk about. Send your ideas to us.
Send your idea to someone's favorite movie podcast at gmail.com or hit me up at Twitter at mretailslave, you know, and we might cover your movie. We're always looking for weird oddities and, I don't know, movies that we may have watched but didn't give the time of day. Maybe we're older now. Maybe it'll be great.
Exactly. I don't care how weird or obscure the movie is you want to suggest. If this episode proves anything, it's that we will watch anything weird and obscure.
Yeah. I mean, we had some listener requests. We watched Fade to Black, which was pretty good.
Very good. Yeah.
We watched Hard Candy and The Skeleton Key. We watched Wrist Cutters on Dr. Wolfula's suggestion. So, I mean, it's happened. Keep them coming.
All right. So, what else you got for me tonight, sir?
I don't think I have anything. What a letdown, huh? What a small episode.
No. This was a pleasure and a relief when I found out that I'm not going to be shitting on one of your gems.
I think also this month for January Scary, I'll finally release our episode on Night of the Hunter. Remember that, Tomko?
You know what? I don't want to give the store away, but I remember that movie well enough because as soon as I got done watching it, I went out and bought a proper copy.
Hey, how about that? And we only recorded that like 2.5 years ago, so I don't know why it's never been out, but boy, it's your lucky day.
Oh, I'm looking forward to hearing that.
Oh, yeah. We were younger then. We were different people, Tomko. Jeez.
It was only at the beginning of COVID. We didn't know that this shit was going to be going on today. We were young and filled with hope.
So much hope. Tomko's had it 6 times by now. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's kind of like, some people get stuffy noses. Tom gets COVID and, goes to bed for a week.
Between you and me, I think he's just using it as an excuse with Mrs. Tomko to get out doing dishes. But
dude, don't fuck my shit up.
I'm sorry. On that note, before I fuck more of Tomko's shit up, we'll see you next time on someone's favorite movie. Bye-bye.
See ya.